Right.
Scotty, do you recommend waiting like you always do?
Yes, always a good idea. Unless you're Joan. If you're Joan, go right ahead. But
it says, all it says is a couple of bug fixes. There's nothing exciting about it. It's very boring.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, famous last words. On June 6th, I'm sure that MacArthur or whoever was in charge of D-Day said, you know, it's just going to be a little trip across the bay. That's all we're going to do. No. Yeah, it's always good to wait and wait a couple minutes. A week is a good thing. You know, in other words, cancel the first reminder, and when the second reminder comes out, then go full force into it. Usually, you know pretty quickly that these things are going to fail because they pull them off pretty quickly. But go ahead. I think it's a good idea to wait, though. All right, well, let's get started. I'm going to start at the top of the list here. Daryl, we've got you to start with. What's up this evening?
I'm okay. Just go ahead, Scotty.
All right, we'll skip over to Joan. Joan, do you have anything on the plate?
Just updating 6 gadgets that you told me not to do.
Yeah, well, all right. Joanne, sounds like you've worked out your issues somehow or another. What's going on there?
No, not at all. I had a huge list, and I lost it. But I did have a major problem.
I just flew by your house, by the way. I was up there about 20 minutes ago on the way down from another place. So, what's your major problem?
Okay, I know how to get on iPhoto and delete pictures. I know how to do that. So the other day, I spent 2 hours going through thousands of pictures, deleting hundreds. And I went to check to make sure they were off my iPad because I was going to sync my iPad and get them off there too. And I went to make sure they were not in the library on iPhoto, and they were all there.
Yeah.
I spent 2 hours, and all those pictures were there, and I did nothing different than I ever did.
Yeah, it's very confusing. So the way that I have a feeling that PhotoStream has, I don't want to say reared its ugly head, but PhotoStream is part of the reason of this. And you know, back in the old days, and when I say old days, 6 months ago, it was very easy to delete a picture and it's gone. All the time I would get people that would say, Scotty, I took these pictures and something happened and they're gone, and I couldn't help them. They're just gone. But now, with PhotoStream and multiple libraries, it's hard to get rid of a picture. And that's what you've experienced here. You've experienced that you can't get rid of the pictures that you want to get rid of.
But I've always gotten rid of them.
Well,
I didn't have this problem until the other day.
Well, give me the issue again. Run down exactly what happened one more time for me, and then I'll go in with what I think a way we can solve it.
Okay, I go into Camera Roll, and I delete all of these pictures.
Yeah.
And normally, when I hit delete, they're gone.
Yeah.
This time, I did nothing different, and all of my pictures remained in Camera Roll.
Did you delete them from iPhoto when you had the phone connected? Is that right?
No, I had nothing connected at that time.
So you just connected from the phone. You just went straight from the phone and you deleted them from the phone. They left Camera Roll and then
my iMac upstairs, which is the big control center of all my photos.
Okay. I think. All right. So what we need to do is get our terminology straight. I don't think that you can delete from the Camera Roll. You can't individually delete off of the phone from your iMac. So you can't select this picture. All right. So you just said you imported them, and after you imported them, it asked you, would you like to remove all these pictures? Is that what you are talking about?
The phone has nothing to do with it. If you recall, the iMac upstairs is my big, huge, has all my photos.
Okay.
So I was working on that iMac, and I was deleting photos like I've done forever.
Yeah. You deleted them, and they all came back.
I did nothing different. I did Command-Shift, delete, 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 and then I go on to another bunch, delete, 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 which normally works fine. And hundreds of photos that I deleted were still there.
I think that PhotoStream has something to do with this. So here I'm in iPhoto, and I have this iPhoto on this computer. I have iPhoto on another computer. I have my camera roll on this device, as well as my photo stream on this device. And it's important to know the difference between those two pieces of terminology. Camera roll represents the area that the photo lives on the phone. Photo stream represents the folder that camera roll moves to and then syncs over to iPhoto. Camera roll can be referred to on your computer as well, but it's
Okay, my mistake.
So you were looking at photos and you wanted to
I
delete
was in photos on the iPad.
and you wanted to delete these photos. Did you on the iMac, you deleted them and a couple minutes later they came back. Is that right? Is that what happened?
When I went to check after doing hundreds, they were all still there.
Okay.
And I've never had that problem before.
Well, here's what could have happened. So I wouldn't be surprised that that happened. Here's one explanation that could have happened. You could have gone into your photos. Here's my photos. And you go out of the very bottom, let's say, and you delete some pictures. All right? I delete this picture or a set of pictures out of my photo area, and they're gone out of here. Now, once I delete them, let's see if I can get these deleted. They're out of the photo.
You were in photo stream, right?
No, I was not. I was in the photos area on the left-hand side. See photos?
But it says photo stream.
But that's where they came from. But that's different than this area called photo stream down here.
Okay.
See, this has been added in. And this event is called Photo Stream, and it's called December 2012 Photo Stream. In other words, I haven't gone into my events and named this something. So see what's happening here? This event by default is named September 12th or September 2012 Photo Stream. This event is called October 2012 Photo Stream. But if I look at photos and I delete those out, they're supposed to go away, just like we just talked about. They're supposed to go away. The problem is, if they're in Photo Stream and they're on another computer, they might come back because we didn't delete them out of Photo Stream. We deleted them out of the Photos area. It's very hard to delete pictures nowadays, and when I say very hard, I mean that you have to delete them from all over the place. I deal, and I've mentioned this before, I deal with a lot of, not a lot, but every once in a while I come across a spouse who wants to know information about their significant other, and they call me in to look for things, and it's very easy to find where these pictures are these days. You can find very incriminating pictures. If you delete them out of Photo Stream, they're in your camera roll. If you delete them out of camera roll, they're in Photo Stream. But here's the other trick. You can delete them off of your camera roll on your phone, and they're still in Photo Stream, and they land here. If you want to get rid of a picture, you have to delete it out of the Photos area, and you have to delete it out of Photo Stream, and you have to delete it off of the device's camera roll that you took it with. If you took it on an iPad, you have to delete it out of camera roll on the iPad and Photo Stream. Does that make any sense?
Yes, but if I am at the iMac and I have to delete it out of Photos and Photo Stream, which do I do first?
I would delete it out of Photo Stream first. And remember that when you delete it out of Photo Stream, it's leaving Photo Stream on your iPad, it's leaving Photo Stream on your other computer, and I'll come back to that. It's leaving Photo Stream on your iPhone, but it is not leaving the camera roll on the device you took it on, nor is it leaving the Photos area on another computer. So if you have an iMac and a laptop, you've deleted it off of the iMac in Photo Stream and the camera roll. We'll call this the camera roll. You can call it the Photos area. But it's not deleted out of the Photos area on your laptop. It's deleted out of Photo Stream, but not out of the Photos area on the laptop. You have to go to the Photos area and delete it.
And to delete it off of Photo Stream on the iPad, I had to sync the iPad with the iMac. I removed it from the iMac since I cannot delete from Photo Stream on the iPad, and then I synced the iPad to the iMac, and that worked.
Okay. when you sync the iPad to a library, and I know we've got some other people. I'm gonna jump over here in a second. When you sync the iPad, let me close the door here. Excuse me, guys. Cool it. Go. Cool.
I told you, Daryl, I had something. That's only one question.
But hey, this is very interesting because we all have the same problem, I'm sure. Yeah, I want to know how this got named November 2012 Photo Stream.
Well, to address that real quickly, the photo stream, if you remember when photo stream first came out, it was not blocked off into months. It is now blocked off into months. And for some of you or some of us who have an old iCloud account that has 20 gigs of storage space, your photo stream is going to act differently than the person that has 5 gigs of storage space. So it's very easy for this to get just all upside down. I apologize for my dogs. I don't know if you guys can hear them. My dogs are going absolutely crazy. Give me one more moment. I'm going to kick them out of here. Hold on. I'm going to kick them out of the house.
So what he mentioned, Joan, what I'm going to ask him is 5. He mentioned 5 places where you had to delete pictures in order to get them off completely.
Correct.
Is that what you heard?
That's what I heard, and that's what I've had to do.
And
That's what Joan had to do?
Mm-hmm.
And I've had to do it too, but what I don't understand is the other day when I tried to delete thousands of photos, I did nothing different.
Well,
Yeah.
but if you connected, Joan, if you connected your iPad, it's possible that the iPad had those pictures in its camera roll. I mean, this is just a suggestion or a possibility, and it moved them right back over. If you took them on your iPad, or if you sync them over to your iPad, it's possible they could have been imported again. Like I said, it's really hard to delete pictures out of your life. So if you turn PhotoStream on and you want to get rid of a picture, you have to make sure you delete it off of PhotoStream and then the device you took it on and any devices, computers that it's synced to.
So 5 places?
Possibly, yeah. Possibly.
Yep.
Yeah.
Then why do we continue to use PhotoStream?
Because you don't really need to delete pictures unless you take a picture that you feel that you no longer want. My stance for the most part is take all the pictures you want. Digitally, all of us, I think most of us in this room here are old enough to remember film and going and taking film and paying all that money. And now digital pictures are free. Click, 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 1,000 pictures. So we don't need to worry about, you can see in my photo library here, I have a million pictures of a handstand, of my little girl's handstands. I don't care to go through and eliminate the best, the worst handstands because they don't cost me anything. But if I take a picture of something that I don't want the rest of the world or the rest of my family to know about, then that's when you need to be careful. Here's a picture of a bottle of wine. And let's say I am going through AA and I go, oh my gosh, I better not let anybody know that I have taken a picture of this bottle of wine. Then I need to delete that picture. So I'm going to delete it out of my photos area. All right. But that picture's in PhotoStream as well. So I got to go into PhotoStream and delete it. And then I have to go over to my laptop and delete it out of, not PhotoStream because it's already deleted, but the camera area or the photos area over there as well to hide the evidence.
Are you saying that we can't bring wine to the party you're going to have for us?
No, you are certainly welcome to. Certainly welcome to, as long as it's red.
Okay, Scotty.
Yes.
You deleted the bottle of wine off PhotoStream in your laptop.
Yes.
Now you have to go to Photos and also delete it. Okay, how do you get this off PhotoStream on the iPad unless you sync it to your laptop?
All right. PhotoStream is a synced folder. So you only have to delete the picture out of PhotoStream one time. It's the problem comes when if I take a picture, and I guess I could do this now, but if I take a picture, this picture is currently in 2 places, on my camera roll and in PhotoStream. It immediately lands on all my computers in PhotoStream, so that's the 3rd place. and then it immediately gets copied into your computer's hard drive in the photos area. That's at least a 4th place, and if you had it on another computer, a 5th place. So to delete it, you only have to delete PhotoStream one time. Once it's deleted out of PhotoStream, it eliminates all the pictures out of all the other areas, but you're left with the photos area on the computer, and you're left with the camera roll picture on your iOS device. All right?
Okay, if the picture is taken with an iPhone and you delete it in PhotoStream on an iMac, is that okay? Or do you have to delete it from the device from which you took the picture?
Yes, you have to delete it from the device which you took the picture, and PhotoStream, and in the photos area on the iMac or the computer that you're using.
Right. But does the PhotoStream deletion have to be from the device from which you took the picture?
No. PhotoStream is PhotoStream. PhotoStream is one area. So if I delete this bottle of wine, well, I would have to go to PhotoStream first. So once I find that bottle of wine, I'll say, here, this picture, let's say. If I delete that picture, then it leaves my PhotoStream on all the devices. But it's still on the camera roll somewhere on one of the devices that I took it on. And it's still...
And in Photos and on the iPad. Okay.
That's right. One moment. I'll be right back.
PhotoStream, where is this PhotoStream coming from? I'm looking at his and it says web and then it says PhotoStream underneath it, but mine doesn't have a PhotoStream. Is that only to phones? Any of you guys?
PhotoStream is part of the iCloud service. And PhotoStream is a temporary folder. You'll find PhotoStream on your computer. You'll find PhotoStream on your iOS device if you're up to date with everything.
I don't have it because I'm not in that Mountain Lion or whichever one it is. Is that why?
Right. You need to be up to date with everything. Okay. iOS 6. I'm going to pull this in.
So this is going to be a nightmare when I get this iCloud. This PhotoStream is going to pop up, and I'm going to have this same nightmare.
Yeah, we're making a little bit more of an issue of it than it does take a while to figure out. It's certainly not.
I don't sync my iPad with my Mac anymore. So will I still have these problems that they're talking about, like having to delete 5 places, or can I just delete right from iPhoto? Period.
If you don't turn PhotoStream on, then yes. Let's say if we go back in time 6 months, then your pictures are on the device you took it on, and then on your computer when you synced it with a wire, let's say.
So if I just take a camera chip, stick it in my camera, and I delete it off the chip, I can just delete it from my photo, and I won't have to do 5 places like them.
Right. The advantage of PhotoStream, and PhotoStream's a really good thing. PhotoStream is not a good thing if you're trying to hide certain pictures. I mean, to be frank. PhotoStream is not a good thing if you're a teenager and you are taking pictures that you don't want your parents to see. That's not good for PhotoStream. But for a normal adult who is just out, taking pictures of their normal life, PhotoStream's a great thing. And the reason it's a great thing is because you don't ever have to sync up anymore. You just take 20, 40, 100 pictures, and they just land on your computer. And another fantastic thing is that if you have your photo library perfect on one computer, and you have your photo, and I should say, let's say you have 5,000 pictures on your iMac, and this happens with everybody. Most of us have 2 computers. Let's say you have 5,000 pictures on your iMac, but you only have 200 pictures on your laptop or your other computer. And I've gotten this question for years. How can I sync my libraries? I want my iPhoto libraries to sync. And for years, I had to say, well, there's not really a good way. There are iPhoto syncing services out there, but I don't like any of them. I think they're all terrible, and none of them are recommended from me. But with PhotoStream, once you take those 5,000 pictures and you copy them to your other computer, like a laptop, and you have them exactly the same, then you turn PhotoStream on. And from that point forward, your iPhoto libraries are equal to each other for the rest of your life, which is really nice.
Can't that be a problem, though, I guess, depending on how you take pictures? Because I have mine set to the JPEG and RAW, so I always have duplicate pictures. But, I mean, one picture can be 20 megabytes.
Absolutely.
So
right.
I wouldn't want to sync over to a laptop, because then when you would use all your hard drive up?
Absolutely. Was that Cheryl talking just now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cheryl, yeah, that's absolutely the case. Now, when you mention RAW, though, that puts you into a different classification, in my opinion. iPhoto is the tool for most of us, but it's not the tool for all of us. So when you start to talk about RAW, and to let everybody else know that's listening tonight, RAW is a real high-end format for pictures. Your iPhone does not shoot in RAW, but a really nice Nikon or a really nice Canon that costs over $1,000 shoots in RAW. The people that are shooting the Panthers games and the Bobcats games, and people that are shooting maybe weddings, they're shooting in RAW. And RAW is a really, really large file format. If you're shooting in RAW, then maybe you need to grow out of iPhoto and use something a little bit more suited for RAW images. All right? Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, in the long
Or
run.
just never sync them and I'd be okay, wouldn't I?
Yeah.
If I never sync.
Well, what you're doing then is you're using a really high-level technology, but you're using a little shoebox to organize it or to manage it. It's kind of like putting, I think in analogies, it would be like putting a Rolls Royce in a shed outside. You know what I mean. If you're gonna drive a Rolls Royce around, you need to have something that keeps it in a really nice, pristine condition. And just the old shed that has no, just a cover on the top might not be the best way to handle it. If you're shooting in RAW, maybe you look at something other than iPhoto. And PhotoStream is not PhotoStream is a novelty for most of us. But if you're shooting in RAW, then you're more serious than most of us.
Okay.
All right? That's my take
I
on
didn't
it.
mean to interrupt, but I
No.
thought I'd forget this question, and since we were on the subject.
No, this is exactly what I want. Along those same lines, and well, if we have time, I'll come back to PhotoStream and how I use it, because I really, really enjoy PhotoStream a lot for its ability to share with other of my friends now. But we'll come back to it. Let's keep going down the list. MM, that's Mary.
Hi.
Mary, hey.
Mary Margaret.
Yes,
Yeah.
I worked with Mary earlier today. What's going on?
Okay, I have my son's iPad that, I told you that Can School gives all the 7th graders. And forever he's been able to get on the Wi-Fi here, which, remember, you don't like my Wi-Fi.
Yeah, she's got a Linksys router.
Okay, but so when it shows up as to choose a network, but it won't ask for the password. It just keeps saying dismissed, so he can't get on to do his homework.
Yeah. Yeah, and we didn't. Is that just started happening? Because we didn't make any changes to the wireless network at all.
Yeah, it's actually, I didn't realize it. He said it's been going on for a couple weeks. He was on his iPhone that he has with his dad, and he was using the hotspot on that, which of course his dad realized, and it was eating up the.
Right.
It's not a good thing.
Yeah.
Way to use that.
So what you're trying to do is you're trying to go, and here's my iPhone here. You're trying to go into your Wi-Fi settings, which is right there.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I think I've lost the connection. Ah, shoot. For some reason, mine's falling off.
Everybody else in the family is able to get on.
Yeah, except for him. So here's what I would suggest he does. If I can get. Yeah, I heard you. My phone's trying to catch up. There we go. All right, here's what I would suggest you try first. Ultimately, throw that Linksys router in the garbage. But for now, what I think you should do is.
On that tomorrow.
Good. You're going to go to your settings and Wi-Fi on your phone, or I'm sorry, on the device. It doesn't matter. And you see you have several listed here. Like I've got Carson, Saigon 5 gigahertz. What you want to do is select the blue button on the side, the blue area. When you select that blue area, it's going to take you to another window, and you're going to have the ability to forget that network. Forget the Johnson network or whatever the network's called. Forget it. Then go back and try to rejoin it and see if that happens. See if that'll solve it. What I think it could be, though, is that Linksys router may be putting out, it's that Linksys router you have is probably as old as your son, honestly. And so it might only support WEP, a certain type of encryption. The iPad, oh, that worked?
That worked. Yep.
All right, great.
Magic.
All right.
Yay.
Very good. Well,
It's homework done.
yeah, excellent. So let me ask you, while we've got Mary Margaret here, how was the experience getting onto this meeting this evening through GoToMeeting and everything for you?
It took me a few seconds to catch on, but it was pretty good.
All right,
Yeah.
excellent.
And I love listening to this about the photos and all
Good.
that. This is great.
All right, we're going to jump over to Cheryl. Cheryl, did you have a specific other question? Or we can go to anything you want.
I got a bunch, so I'm not sure which one to start with, but I guess the most important one right now, and I searched all over and I could find a couple of things, but I didn't know if they were safe. I'm trying to find a spyware detector app, or basically, how do you find out if somebody installed spyware
This is
on my computer?
This is a really great question. I'm going to go through a couple of things really quickly right now. And like I said, like I always say, I'll record all this so that you can go back through it. But there are, and this is a real generic answer, but this answer solves 50 or 70 or 80% of everybody's problems. People ask me a lot, often, is there something run on my computer? Is there spyware? Do I have a virus? And one of the fantastic things about the Mac is that if someone wants to install something, and all of you know that I've worked with everybody, when I sit down at somebody's computer, I can't do anything until I know your password. Once you give me your computer's password, then I have access to everything. But I have to know your computer's password first. So to go back a couple of sentences, the only way that a virus or a spyware or something bad can install on your computer is if you give it permission to. If you tell it its password. Now there are some exceptions, but for the most part, this is why we're so protected, is because just in the inherent security of the Mac requires, if you want to install a printer, you have to put the password in, and that can be a little bit of a pain. And even if your password is blank, is nothing, that's still a password. An absence of letters is still a password. So, but to go back and answer your question. There are certain places that bad software or things have to live in order for them to run on your Mac. And I'm going to go through a couple of those places right now. When I open up a Finder window, I want to...
Let me make my question a little bit more specific.
Okay.
For you. I believe, my computer is on most of the time, and I only have to, and that was going to be another question, how do I lock it so this doesn't happen again? But I believe that somebody literally came in and installed the spyware with my computer on. You don't have to put the password in because it was already open.
Okay. All right. Great. That's.
How do I check that this happened?
Okay. So, if you have something that you think could be running on your computer, well, obviously, if you restarted your computer, you would think that it would go away. A program has to be told to run, or it has to be told to start up. Those are called startup items. So the first place you look to see what are the things that are starting up, you go to System Preferences. And I'm going to go through this quickly, so don't feel like you've got to walk through every step of it. Like I said, it's recorded. I go to System Preferences, and I go to my Users and Groups. And in my Users and Groups, I'm going to look at the startup items. And excuse my slow computer. I've got a really slow computer that I'm using here.
Where did you find System Preferences?
If I go under the black apple, System Preferences is listed there. So black apple, System Preferences. Now I select Users and Groups, and then I've got an area here called Login Items. This is the first area that I can tell the computer to run these things in the background. Now what's running on my computer? iTunes Helper, which gives it the ability to look for devices that are plugged in and open up iTunes. That's harmless. Dropbox. I have Dropbox running on this computer. And if I turned off the computer and I restart the computer, I need Dropbox to turn back on automatically. So I have Dropbox running. I could come in here and I could put in iPhoto. If I love iPhoto, I could say, you know what? Every single time I turn my computer on, I want it to open up iPhoto. So I would come over here and select the application that I want. Let's say in this case, Chess. Now, when I restart my computer, Chess is going to be running. So if you have an item in this area that's listed and you're not sure what it is, select it and hit the minus button to get rid of it. That will prevent that particular application from opening when you turn your computer on. That's step one. Now there's some other places, and this gets into, that's at the surface. Now let's go just beneath the surface a little bit. On your computer, there's an area called Library. There's a folder called Library. One of the ways you can get there is you go under the word Go in the menu bar, and you select your computer. And when you select computer, you see a picture of your hard drive. When you select a picture of your hard drive, there's Library. Now you select your library there and you see lots of folders. This is the guts of the computer. This is the operating system, so to speak, of the computer. There are a couple of folders here that are very important in this discussion. Launch agents and launch daemons. Now this is easy to remember because the word launch tells you it's something's taking off, something's starting. If you see something in one of these two folders that's curious to you, simply select it and delete it. Now when you delete it, it's going to ask you for your password. Well, who in the world are you? You know, maybe this is important. Now in this case, let's take a closer look at what's in here. And this is sort of a high-level discussion here, but hopefully I'm explaining it well enough for everybody to understand. Those launch agents and launch daemons, those are the little secret areas that programs have to place something in order for them to run the next time you start the computer. Now in this case, what is this? com.adobe. F, you know what that is? That's Flash. That is then it even explains it to you right here. This is something to do with Flash that's running. Well, I don't want that on my computer, so I'm going to drag it to the trash, or in my case, I'm going to use the key command, Command-Delete, to get rid of it. And then I'm going to put my password in, and now it's moved it to the trash. I have essentially emptied out the launch agents and launch daemons folder. When those two folders are empty, that means that if I restart my computer, whatever was running that was accustomed to in the past is now not running anymore. There are a couple of other places to look as well, though. Now, you might see some items in these two folders that are not suspicious. There's one that you oftentimes you will see. It's called com.apple.kextlogger.plist. If it has the word Apple right after the word com.apple, it's Apple's business and it's fairly harmless. The reason I'm pointing these folders out to you is that you can't do damage. If you delete the contents of both of these folders, you're not going to hurt anything. Whatever was running, oftentimes you'll see HP software. HP puts things in this folder that it sends information back to HP or Hewlett-Packard saying, hey, Cheryl used her printer 3 times this week and she had it set to these settings, and they're just trying to collect information. How often do you use this printer? What are you printing with it? That kind of thing. You don't need those things running. Google will put things in these folders. But if you see something really suspicious in there that you don't know what it is, just delete it. So if I drag down a little bit farther, I see another folder called Startup Items. And what is this? I have no idea what this is. Now with the initials HP, that gives me an idea that it might be a printer, but this is also a test computer, and I test a lot of crappy software on this thing, and it is very possible that it's installed some piece of crap on here. Mac Keeper is a piece of crap software that a lot of people install. There's also Tune Your Mac is another one that's real popular now. That people are falling for, and they install these types of things in here. So I want to get rid of that too. So I can either drag it to the trash or Command Delete and get rid of it. And it asks me again for my password, and I get rid of it. Now, to review, to find out certain things that are living on your computer, if you go under the Go menu and you select your computer, it takes you...
I don't even have a Go menu.
Oh, yes, you do. Click on the Finder. Click on the desktop itself, and up at the top you'll see the word Go.
Now it's switched over. Okay.
Yeah. So you go find...
I'm having a hard time following you because everything you were clicking on I couldn't find.
Yeah. And that's why it's recorded and you can go back through this. So I'm going to go through this quickly again. Under the Go menu, select your computer. Now you'll be presented with a Finder window, and there's a picture of your hard drive. You select your hard drive, and you'll find the library folder right there. Now, in the library folder, I'm going to drag down, and there are 3 folders we talked about. The Launch Agents folder, the Launch Daemons folder, and all the way at the bottom, the Startup Items folder. Those are the folders where suspicious software can be first. Now, we also talked about in the System Preferences looking at your login items under the Users and Groups, or Users, if you're in an older operating system, and login items. Deleting items out of here can be a really nice thing. Sometimes you'll see people have mail starting up, and it's really easy to get things in here by accident. Oftentimes people will click and hold on an item in their dock, and if they click and hold on it, they can come over here and they can say, open at login. People do this by accident all the time. And if you choose to open at login, look what just happened. It put my system preferences in there. I don't want my system preferences to open when I turn this computer on, so I minus that out and get rid of it. There are other places to go and look, but I think we're going to stop there. All right.
I've got my other question that kind of goes along with hoping this doesn't happen again.
Yeah.
Is there a way that instead of, closing all my windows and logging off and closing and shutting off the computer so that when I turn it back on, I have to put my password and log in, can I close down the computer with my windows open so when I'm working on something, I can start back to where I was?
Yes.
Rather than, okay, how do I do that?
Same place in System Preferences. There's an area called Security and Privacy. It might look a little bit different if you're on an older operating system, but in the newest version of the operating system, it's a picture of a house with a little dial in it. So if you click Security and Privacy, you will see a setting over here that says Require a Password. And then when you click that, you have a choice to set it to either right immediately or 4 hours later or 5 seconds later. So if you put it to sleep, you put your computer to sleep or it goes into a screensaver mode, then you have the choice of, well, you know what? Start counting at 5 minutes, that if I don't wake my computer back up within 5 minutes, after the 5th minute, it will lock it so that when I wake it back up, it requires a password before I can get into it. So that's the setting you're looking for. The other setting that goes along with it is screensaver. So notice that this says, if I check this box, and again, here we are in System Preferences, in Security and Privacy, or it might just say Security, require a password a certain amount of time after either sleep or screensaver. Screensaver is nice. Now, how long before the screensaver starts? If I go back to my System Preferences and I look at the screensaver module, there's a screensaver. Let me see, that'll load up. And I'm going to look at my screensaver area. I have to select screensaver. How long before my screensaver starts? Well, right now, that's 20 minutes. So what that means is if I walk away from this computer, it's going to sit exactly like it is for 20 minutes. And then on the 21st minute, the screensaver starts. Then, 5 minutes later, it requires a password. So right now, the way I have this computer set up is 25 minutes are going to go by before it locks. Well, maybe I want it faster than that. Maybe I want the screensaver to start within 2 minutes, and I want, after that screensaver starts, back in Security and Privacy, I want it to start immediately. That means that 2 minutes after it starts, if I don't hit the spacebar or wake it back up, it's going to require a password on the 3rd minute. So what you need to do, Cheryl, is go familiarize yourself with the screensaver area and the security area and set those settings the way that you'd like them to be so that you're not having to put your password in all the time, but you do want the ability to be able to get up and walk away from your computer, maybe go in the kitchen. 30 minutes later, you're
because it would take some time for somebody to install like a keystroke software.
Yeah, keystroke logger. And if you remember, if you remember, I said earlier in that launch agents and launch daemons folder we were talking about, oftentimes that's where a keystroke logger is going to put a file so that it starts up. Otherwise, you turn your computer off and then you've just eliminated the program. The program, a very good bad guy, is going to put something in a folder like that so that it starts back when you restart your computer. Otherwise, you just kill that person's work by just restarting your computer. So you'll see com.apple.ktextlogger.com, and that looks like keystroke logger, but that's Apple. That's okay. If it says com.apple, that's all right. All right?
Thank you.
All right, let's go to Emma Day that just joined us. Emma Day, thanks for joining us tonight. How are you doing, and what's up?
I'm sorry I missed you last week. I could not. I had company. I've had company ever since then. I just took up to Asheville, so I'm on my iPad.
All right.
And I would love to find a meeting with you, but also I can't find a base station. It says I'm connected to the internet, but I don't have a base station. It won't connect with automatic. It keeps saying Beach 2.
Okay.
And I can't get it to go to anything else.
All right, let me back up first, and before I get down to that answer, I want to apologize to Emma Day. There were a couple people, I might have had to do it with Mary Margaret too. This past week, I had major kidney stone problems, and I had to cancel almost 3 days of sessions. Emma Day, I think I sent you an email canceling on you too. So
Yes, well, I got it the
Okay.
next day.
all right, yeah. Yeah, I'm good right now, but man, I'll tell you, it's no fun, and they're going to be coming back. I've got my pain meds that I'm taking constantly here. But to get to your question, Emide, is this on an iPad that you're talking about?
What?
Are you trying to connect to a wireless network on your iPad? Is that what you're talking about?
Well, right now I'm on my iPad through a guest network.
Are you at the beach right now?
I can't do it on my computer.
Are you at your beach location right now?
Excuse me, what?
Are you at your beach location right now, or are you in Charlotte?
No, I'm on my iPad in a restaurant because I can't get it on my computer, and I'm in Davis.
Okay.
So you're hearing all this.
That's fine.
I'm just wondering if you could tell me how to connect the base station to my internet. And why I can't get it to connect. It says I'm on the internet, but I'm not on the base station.
Okay, let me make sure
automatic.
Let me understand what you mean by base station. When you say base station, are you talking about your iPad?
No, I'm talking right now. I'm talking on my iPad, but I'm talking about my computer. As I'm connected to the internet, but it keeps circling on the bottom. You know where it will point up to the internet. The internet's green, but where I guess my home station or whatever it is it just circles. It's not connecting to anything.
This is on your laptop we're talking about.
Yes.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
And on your laptop, I'm going to try to review it so I catch up with where you are. You go up to the top airport icon, and you see some items that are listed, and you try to connect to one of those networks, but for some reason it's not working. Is that?
Well, if I go to the airport utility, and if I do the Wi-Fi at the top, it is, and it goes, it's saying connect to Wi-Fi. It says it's on, and I hit see more, and I try to connect to it. It won't let me connect to it, but it says I'm on the internet. And I don't know how I found that it said I was connected through the other time capsule. But I can't get on the internet at home. It's supposed to be automatic, but I don't know what to put in to make it join it.
Okay. Let me ask you this. You're having problems connecting to the internet through your network at your home with your laptop. Are you having the same problems connecting through an iPhone or an iPad as well?
With a network?
Yeah, in other words, not 3G, but actually, if you look at my iPhone, I don't know if you can see it. You see, of course, I have AT&T, but I have a network. I'm connected to my network. And the way that I did that was I went into my system preferences, and I found the settings for Wi-Fi up at the top, and I chose a wireless network. Can you choose a wireless network on your device and it shows up?
I haven't tried to do this.
So,
restaurants because I don't know how to do it on this.
Okay. Well, you know how to join a wireless network because you've obviously done it on your iPad here at this restaurant. So what you need to do, the piece of information that we need to help understand the problem even better is when you go home, go to your network on your iPad. And if it works on your iPad, then it may be more likely that the problem is happening on your computer. If it doesn't work on your iPad, then that tells us, wait a minute, my iPad's not working and my computer's not working. Maybe there's a problem with my network. But that's the deciding factor. And then the even better deciding factor is to bring an iPhone into it. And I'm sure you have an iPhone. So try to connect to the network. I think you said it was the Seymour network. Try to connect with your iPhone. Try to connect with your iPad. And then that gives us a better idea of what's going on with your computer. Again, I bet it's a really I bet it's a simple answer that we're just not getting right now. That
it must be.
I would say, Daryl, did you have something you wanted to try to say?
When you're finished with Emide.
Well, Emide, I was going to say, and I'm debating on whether to send you down this path or not in system preferences. there are some settings that we can work with in system purposes. I don't think I'm going to point those out to you right now. I'm willing to bet, Day, that the network is fine, but there's something just going on that it's just a simple thing that's keeping our computer from joining the network. I bet it's something really simple. I just can't think of what it might be right now.
I've got to get you out there, and I hope you're well enough to come, but I understand.
Yeah.
My husband's had 3 of them. I know how awful it is.
Yeah, this is my second round. I had big problems on Saturday. I'm good again now, but hopefully it's going to be a while. I think I'm going to be going through this for about a month, but I'm feeling good now.
Oh my gosh, I hope not.
Yeah, it comes and goes.
Oh.
Daryl, what were you saying? What were you going to say?
Well, I'm going to go and get off so y'all can talk. Thank you.
Okay, Day, thanks for joining us in these weird circumstances. Daryl, what were you going to say?
Thank you. I'm going to try to get to listen to everything. Okay, thank you.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Daryl, what were you going to say?
I want to add a printer to my mini iPad.
Well, there are a couple of different ways to print. Is this a printer that has AirPrint?
Yes.
It does have AirPrint. It's an HP printer or a different manufacturer?
It's an HP.
Okay, so they call that ePrint, which is the same thing as AirPrint, basically. And if you want to print to that thing, then it should be as easy as finding a document on your device if your printer is on the network. Is your printer on the network already?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Then when you're on, let's say I'm opened up notes here. I'm going to select the arrow at the bottom. And I have the choice to print. So I'm going to select to print. And if I have an AirPrint printer on my network, the next thing I'm presented with is select printer. You can see this on my screen too. I select the printer, and it would go out and it would find that printer. I don't have an AirPrint printer in my house. I don't print from an iPad or an iOS device. But if your printer's on, it should show up.
I'm gonna have I've got a note here.
Okay.
And I'm gonna go send it to print.
Yes.
And select printer.
Uh-huh.
And it found my printer.
Good.
I think Emily forgot to log off.
That's fine.
I'm
sorry.
I don't know how to turn it off.
Oh.
No, it's not off. How do I get it off?
Day, I'll dismiss you. I'll kick you out of the meeting. Bye, Day.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, I kicked her out. So did that print, Daryl?
Not yet. There it goes. Now it's printing. Okay.
All right. That's
So
one
I
of
don't
the,
have to load any software or connect anything.
you know, isn't that amazing? I go through all day long. I got to install these drivers on Macs constantly, and if you install a Windows driver, it takes 30 minutes. But there's all these drivers, but for some reason, these people have figured out how to print to an iOS device without a driver. It just works. Beautiful. So, but you have to have an
I love it.
yeah, you have to have
an AirPrint.
Yes.
ePrint or an AirPrint printer.
There are other devices out there. There's one right now called the Lantronix. There's this is a big advertiser on a lot of podcasts that I listen to. So I thought I'd give them a little shout out here. If you have a printer that you absolutely love, that you don't want to go buy a new printer, you can buy this device. It's $100. But this device, you plug your printer into it, and it becomes an AirPrint printer, basically. But it does more than that. It's more for businesses and things. But for some people, for older legacy, for instance,
There's not a piece of HP software that you could download to make it a.
Toshiba has a piece of software. No, I want to say Lexmark. Lexmark has one. I don't think Toshiba has one. There are some.
The other one is an HP. The other one is an old 7250.
Yeah. To my knowledge, if it doesn't say ePrint on that HP printer, forget about it. Unless you buy one of these pieces of hardware. There are pieces of printer software. There are printing programs on your iOS device. Print Central was a real famous one. Print Magic was another one. I don't really like those because that requires cutting and pasting, and it's just not pleasant. You see how easy that was, what you just did? You went, you selected, and print. Those other printing applications are not that easy. So honestly, it's just time for a new printer. If you don't have an e-print printer and you're going to be printing a lot from an iOS device, time to get another printer.
Well, it's the downstairs printer, and the mini's downstairs, so we're going to print something, we'll just have to come upstairs and get it.
Yeah, I know the printer you're talking about, and it's not going to happen. Yeah, I think I'm where printers go to die as well as hard drives. I've got printers laying all over the place around here. And so, all right, well, anybody else in the meeting here? We're going to be closing up pretty soon. Want to jump in? Yes, Joanne, take it.
Are my photos in iCloud?
The last 30 days of your photos are in iCloud, but not your entire photo library.
Can I stop that from happening?
If you'd like to, yes. So if you want to turn off PhotoStream, there are a couple of things you can do in your system preferences on both your machines, and we'll talk about the phone in a second here too. You go to your iCloud settings, and you'll see a list of all the things that are syncing. One of which is PhotoStream. If you uncheck PhotoStream right there, it will stop syncing on that computer. But now let's talk about the phone. On the phone, we have the same thing. Your settings. Let me find my settings. There's my settings. Go to iCloud. All right, select on iCloud. And then down there, you'll see PhotoStream. And you can choose to turn PhotoStream on or PhotoStream off. If you turn PhotoStream off, that means when you take a picture, it will not move to iCloud. Another nice thing you can do, a shortcut with this, is let's say you want some picture.
Wait,
go ahead.
Am I shutting off PhotoStream when I do that?
Yes, I thought that's what you were asking me, was how do I turn off PhotoStream?
iCloud. So if I have PhotoStream on, all my stuff's going into iCloud.
PhotoStream is a piece of iCloud. So in iCloud, you have the ability to sync contacts, calendars, reminders, pictures. So are you asking me how do I turn off iCloud completely? Or
no, I just wondered if I could keep my photos from going into iCloud.
Yes, and that would be turning PhotoStream off.
But then they won't go to all the different devices.
That's right. That's turning it off out of iCloud. iCloud is the conduit to move those things, those pictures, to other devices. If you shut down PhotoStream in iCloud, then those pictures are not moving through the cloud. They're not moving through the wireless environment. Therefore, the only way you're going to get these pictures back onto your computer is to connect a wire and then sync back like we used to do. Is that helpful? I'm not sure I answered your question.
Yes.
Okay.
And I just want to verify that if I take a camera and download my photos into iPhoto via the iMac, they will go on to PhotoStream, but I have to remove them from the iMac, even though they may appear on PhotoStream in my iOS devices.
The question might have been about 3 words too long. I lost the end part. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Can you?
If I download pictures from my camera.
Okay, pause. Pause.
iMac,
Pause. What kind of camera? An iPhone or a Nikon or a Canon or something?
Nikon or
Okay.
Canon.
Okay. So you've taken the card out and you've put that into your computer somehow. Continue with the question.
And they all go into my iMac.
Yes.
They will already go on PhotoStream.
Okay. Pause. In your iPhoto preferences, there is a setting called PhotoStream. And that PhotoStream setting dictates whether or not what you just said is true. If you have this set right here, one of the things it says is automatically upload all new pictures. Now, if you have this checked in your iPhoto settings, that means that whether it's from a Nikon or a Canon or a Sony or whatever, once you put those pictures in, iPhoto on your computer will move them from the photo area into PhotoStream, which means that they travel over to your other devices. So that Canon set of pictures that you took or that Nikon set can land on your iPhone if you have these checked. All right? And again, that's in iPhoto, under Preferences, and PhotoStream. All right? I'm not sure if you need to ask more of the question?
No, that's perfect.
Okay.
Thank you.
If you uncheck these, or if you turn these off, then those pictures will only go into iPhoto on the iMac and they won't travel over to PhotoStream. Now, you can drag these manually. So let's say I took a picture 2 years ago and I want to move that picture into PhotoStream, and this was before PhotoStream even existed. Maybe it's 2007. I can click and drag that and drop it into PhotoStream if I want to. So.
And then will it go to all the iOS devices as well?
Yes. Yes. Just as a side note, and this might be a little bit too much information, I'll just share with you one of the things that I absolutely love about PhotoStream. I have many people in my life, many categories of people in my life, and I often take a lot of pictures, and I like to share those pictures. For instance, today I was at a person's home, and I took this picture right here of a Star Wars character. If it shows it, oh shoot, I want that to happen. I took some pictures of some Star Wars stuff. Now, I have two friends that are pretty much my best friends in the world. I'm not on Facebook, and I don't care about Facebook. I don't want to post to Facebook. I'm private, but I have these two friends that are really important to me, and I love to share certain things with these friends. So what I did was I set up a photo stream with those two people. So in PhotoStream, I have, let me see if I can enlarge this. I have a photo stream that if I put it into that area, then those two people and those two people alone will see it. It will automatically land on their device. So I'm going to share one right now. I'm going to go back to my albums and I'm going to find a picture of a plate. This is a, oh gosh, it's not showing very well on my, is that enlarging on the screen on you guys' end as well?
Oh yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, that picture, I want to send that picture to PhotoStream. So I want to share that thing. So see if I can edit it from here. I'm going to select it and I want to share it. Now, and I'm sorry, this is kind of small. Let me see if I can enlarge that. Now I have a choice. I can send it as an email or whatever, but I could put it into PhotoStream. So I'm going to select to put it into PhotoStream, and it says, well, which PhotoStream? I have a PhotoStream with my girlfriend. I have a PhotoStream with her daughter, and I have a PhotoStream with my two best friends. So I'm going to drop that into theirs, and I could put a comment in here, but I'm not. I'm just going to post it. Now, that's gone to their phone into their PhotoStream. It's also in their iPhoto on their computers on their computers at home. It's really nice. So I've instantly given them that picture. It's not in a text message. It's not in an email that they have to drag over. It's in their library from this point forward. And then they make comments to it. Yes?
Scotty, on my computer, you set up one that said from Daryl.
Yes.
And you set up one that said from Greta.
Right.
And then there's a third one that says my photo stream.
Right. That's level 2 of what we were just talking about. Yes.
Okay, so if I want to take a picture out of my computer or out of my phone and send it to Greta, how do I do that?
You would put it in the to Greta folder. What Daryl's talking about right now is a little on the complicated side.
I have a to Greta folder. I have a from Greta and a from Daryl.
Oh, then put it in your from Daryl folder and it goes to her.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's similar. If you notice over here on the side, to equate exactly what we were just talking about, look at my photo stream over here. One of the things that I left out was when I put this in my photo, I call it the Jedi Council Scotty folder. When I put it in this photo stream area right here, it shares out to 2 other people. But those 2 other people cannot delete that picture. So if they hate the picture that I just sent, they cannot delete it out of my photo stream. Now to go back, my little girl, she sends me pictures. And she might be listening to me right now. She sent me pictures of Justin Bieber. And I told her I don't want these pictures. But if I go and I look at those pictures, let me find, here it is. There are pictures of Justin Bieber that she sent to me, along with the picture that I asked for. We went to Build-A-Bear the other day, but there's pictures of Justin Bieber, and I cannot delete them. Only she can delete them. But that photo stream is called the To Scotty photo stream. Yeah, I'm talking about you. She sees me over there. But that is the To Scotty folder. So when she wants to send a picture to me, she puts it in her To Scotty folder, and it comes to me. All right?
Well, I think you guys have scared me from my cloud and photo stream.
Well, eventually there'll be a shared area that everybody can manage. But right now, if 3 people want to share, you have to have 3 different folders. And there are 2 people in this one, the other 2 people in this one, and then the other 2 people in this one. It gets complicated.
Okay, so I can change from Daryl to Greta.
To Greta will be the pictures that she sends from herself to you that you cannot delete out of there, not out of the PhotoStream folder.
Now you just lost me again.
Okay.
You got two folders, from Greta and from Daryl.
Okay, from Greta is from your wife. Your wife's named Greta, right?
Right.
And what we did was on her device, we created a folder called From Greta. And we shared it over to you. You are looking at that folder, but you don't have ownership of that folder. You are looking at the folder. She puts something into that folder, you get it.
Okay, and the one on top says from Daryl.
Okay. You put a picture into the From Daryl folder, it goes to her because it is
so
from
I can change
Daryl.
from Daryl folder to Greta.
You could, if you'd like to, yes. Yes, you could change the name of that if you'd like, yes. Absolutely. Just like in my PhotoStream, I could change the name of Jedi Council Scotty to my two best friends. I could change that to them if I wanted.
I'm with you.
Now,
Scotty, I got 3 questions that are probably really stupid, and I hope you can answer really easy. So whenever you
take it, go. There's no such thing as a stupid question. There's not.
I don't know how it happened, but it did, and it's driving me crazy. Before, when I would click on, double click on Safari to open up Safari, it would be Safari. Now it is that flipping Yahoo, and I hate Yahoo with a passion.
Yahoo.com. Okay.
How do I get it off of there?
Okay. I think what you're asking me is, I'm getting sent all the.
I want to either Safari search or Google search or Dogpile search, but not Yahoo search.
Okay. Well, now you just broke it into 2 different questions slightly. When I open up my web page, my front page is this web page. I like this web page a lot. Right now, this is my home page. But if I want to change this home page to a different page, for instance, CNN.com, then the next time I open this web page, my Safari, I want it to open to CNN.com. Now, to change that permanently, this is what I need to do. And this is a 2-part question because you talked about search engines, which is different. I want to change it to open to this page from now on. I go up to Safari's Preferences up in the top left-hand corner. I select Preferences. And after I've gone to the page that I like, that's important. I want to go to the page that I like first. Then, under General, in the Safari Preferences, notice that it says Home Page. And I have a button here that says Set to Current Page. If I click that button, now, the next time I open up Safari, it's going to open up to CNN.com. But you are asking a second question about how do I get it. So if it's opening up to Yahoo, is it actually physically opening up to Yahoo.com? Or is it when you do a search, Yahoo.com is searching?
Let me try,
Okay. Because either way, this is very easily fixed. And it's in the same area.
All right, new window. It comes up saying apple.com start page. And then over on the right-hand side, it says Yahoo, and that's where I used to search before. Is that
so
place?
Now in Safari, in the top left-hand corner, select Preferences. Once you've selected Preferences, find General, and it might already be the one that's on. Once you've found General, now you see Home Page, and it probably says www.apple.com/start page, right?
At the top it says Safari, then it says default search engine Yahoo, and I don't know how that got there.
Well, so you can switch that. You jumped to my part 2 of this question, so just jump it over to whatever you want. Set the default engine to be Google or Bing or whatever you want it to be.
Oh, this just kind of did itself somehow on its own or something?
There was probably a right click involved, and you computers don't do it on their own. They really don't. But yeah, just change that to whatever you want, and then below that, in your home page, Apple loves you because they love the fact that you're going to apple.com every time you open up your browser window. Maybe there's a page on the internet that you go to every single day. So you open up a browser and then you go to www.myfavoritehomepageIntheworld.com. Why not just put that in there and skip apple.com/start page? So put in New York Times or
with anything other than Yahoo.
That's different though. That's you're talking about the search engine up there. I'm talking about the page that loads when you turn on when you open your browser. You're talking about the search engine when you do a search, and you have fixed that. You changed it from Yahoo to Google, or I'm guessing that's what you did. But I'm talking.
Is Google the same thing as Google Chrome? Or are they two different things?
They are two different things. Google Chrome is a web browser. It's like Safari. Safari is a web browser. If you were using Windows, you'd be using Internet Explorer. That's a web browser. That's what Google Chrome is. But Google as a search engine is a service. It's a web page. Sounds a little complicated, I know.
Yeah, okay.
All right?
Okay.
All right.
The other question.
Yeah, take it. One more, and then I'm going to get out of here.
Okay. This one, I guess I'll take the more complicated one then. I tried to bring over pictures from the external hard drive, and one of the folders that comes up, it says from camera and a whole bunch of numbers, and I can't get any of these to open up. Some say they're JPEGs, some say they're movies, but they're a gray screen. Do you have any ideas on that?
It could be. They could be corrupt. Did you pull them from a card, a camera card?
These were all, the whole hard drive of the old computer was saved.
Old Windows machine.
And it says from an old camera.
Do you have those on your iMac right now that you're using this very second? All right, let's jump over and take a look at it and see if we can solve this. And I'm going to send a request to you. So you should see that in a second. You should see a request for us to look at your screen.
Yeah, I hit yes.
Okay, that might take a second.
Show my screen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is it working?
Yeah. Oh my goodness, that's what you're talking about. Yeah, that's jibber jabber right there. Anytime you see this picture with a gray picture with a green, it says executable file or whatever, the computer right now, your computer is saying, look, I don't know what these files are. That's the Mac's way of telling you, I don't know what kind of things these are. So why don't you do this? And if you double clicked it, don't double click one right now, but if you did, it would just go, what? Application. Right. So let's play around with this. These came from a camera. Click on it one time on any title of that. Yeah. Okay. Now click on the number 000. Click on that one time.
You mean just
left
click again? Yeah.
Just one more time, and that should highlight it so that you can type something in there. Try it again until it, it's like a slow click. Just click, and it should highlight. No, cancel. Hit cancel on that. I'm going to try that again. You want to click on that word again, and it should give you the ability to type. You know what? Maybe I'll try.
Ooh.
Oh, I may have drugged over. All right. Click on any one of those again. What we're trying to do is rename that. All right. So click on the numbers again. So it's like click off. Okay. Now click off.
It's doing nothing.
Oh, I'm sure it's going to do something.
What about right click?
No, I'd rather name it right from there. Click again, just one click. And it's not naming it? Oh, I'm sure that's not the case. I'm going to drive. May I drive?
Right, please.
Okay. I thought I was driving. I don't see the mouse moving. Is the mouse moving?
No.
All right. Yeah, I'm not. I thought. Oh, you know what? You probably have another request for me to control your computer that you may not see right now. Okay. Well, do a right click on it then. Get info.
Oh, and then I can type. You're right. I can change the name here.
But it's grayed out. Oh, okay. These are read-only files. All right, so the permissions are all messed up on these. Close that window. Can you take me back to the From Camera folder? So close that. Yes. Yes, I want to find where that folder lives on your computer. So close that window and show me the folder.
Oh, God.
Okay, I can help you. I can help you if you don't know where it is.
Okay.
Okay, go back to that folder that you're just at. Look on the right-hand side and you'll see a pill, an image of a little pill in the top right-hand corner of that. Yes, there's a small little pill over on the top right-hand corner of that window. It's like a little white pill on its side. Nope, right above that, in the gray area. It's a little... go to the very top right-hand corner of that window. Right-hand... There, that pill. Click that.
I didn't even know what that was. Oh, interesting.
Now, that's going to show us a file. It's going to show us more information. Now, click on the third. Move your mouse back up to the top top area. Good. Go to the third block. Not the first, not the second, but the third. There we go. Yes. Yes, and click that. Thank you. Now, this will tell us where this thing is.
Yeah, I mean, it took me thousands of folders to find photos.
Well, there it is. Now, here's what I'd like you to do. Click on the From Camera folder one time.
Up here?
No, it's in that list. Yes, click on it one time. Okay. Now, get info. Command I. You can choose Command I, or you can do right click and get info. This is a pretty complicated question.
Sorry.
Wait a minute.
I was so afraid I wouldn't be able to find him again if I closed all these out, so I've been open for a week.
All right. Now that I look at it, if we follow our eyes back to where this came from, you see that this is sitting on that free agent drive, that yellow drive.
Right. It's an external hard drive from my old computers.
And the Mac right now is going, that drive is telling us, look, you're not doing anything to this. That's what the drive is saying. The drive's permissions are set to where the Mac can't do anything. So I was going to change the permissions of that folder. What we really need to do is change the permissions of that drive. So go over to that yellow drive that's on the desktop. It may be, no, I think you've hidden your GoToMeeting window. So click on the yellow drive that's on the desktop in the top right-hand area of your computer screen.
You mean this thingy?
It's a yellow drive and it says Free Agent Drive, and it's in the top right-hand area of your computer.
Of the purple screen.
Oh, yeah. You mean this thing right here, this icon?
Yes, I don't know where you're dragging it. Yes, okay. Right-click, get info on that guy. Okay. The permissions on this is Windows NT, and whatever has happened here on this, the permissions are set wrong. And it doesn't look like we can change the permissions of that. So that's okay. We're going to go to Plan C. Close that window. That's all right. We're going to get this beat.
All right, Scotty.
Yeah.
You want me to close this window too?
Yeah, you can close all of them except for that front one that says From Camera. Now what I'd like you to do is take that From Camera folder, the one that we were just looking at, drag it and drop it onto your desktop.
Okay. Oh, I knew I could do that before, because this
Yeah.
isn't the only folder.
Yeah, let's get it off of that free agent messed up drive and put it onto your desktop. All right,
No,
now
it's still in the free agent drive too.
that's
right?
fine. I don't care about that window anymore. We can close that window.
Okay.
Yeah, yes, it's still there.
Yeah, it is still there, but I don't even want to deal with that anymore. So hit that red button on that window and get rid of it. Let's close all your other windows as well to make this a little bit easier for us.
You mean all these things?
Yeah, because the process is going to be.
It took me forever to find all these photos and all these, but go ahead and close them all.
Yeah, but now you know how to do it. With that pill button,
Find them again.
it's in the free agent folder.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
I had to go through all of these things to get to them. So I was afraid to close all of them.
Well, now you know that file path. And that From Camera, right there they are. All right. Now, do a right click on that From Camera folder. Get info. Okay, now notice at the bottom something is different. Notice that down here it doesn't just say you can only read. It says, hey, what do you want to do with these? Now, because the Mac, we put them onto the Mac hard drive, we have essentially changed the permissions of these things. Now we have the ability to do stuff with this folder. So that's fine. That's exactly what I wanted. Open that folder up now. Stupid read-only windows. Now,
Oh, I'll never have a window.
Okay, now why don't we go back to that first view? That'll make more sense to you. So click on that first column.
You mean the first picture?
The first picture is fine. Okay, you see where it says 000_0139.jpg_45. You see what we're talking about?
Yes.
Okay, stretch the window. Man, I wish I could control. Let me try to.
There you go.
Well, I know, but you see that column? What I want you to do is move your mouse to the bottom area so that you can pull that bar. That's exactly what I want. Stretch that out farther so you can see that whole list. You see the word JPEG in the middle of the file?
Yes.
Okay, everything to the right of that needs to go away. Something happened to where something changed that name. So if you click on that one time, there. Now, click on it again to place the cursor in there. Now, delete everything to the right of the G. You can select it that way and hit delete. Now, hit return, and when you do this, something's going to happen. Hit return. It says, are you sure you want to use JPEG as the end of this? And say, yes, use JPEG. Now you have a picture. Now you can double click that and it will open up as a normal file. Now, whatever happened, something on the Windows side added these ridiculous letters past the extension. And a file on a computer, the most important thing about a file is the last 3 letters of that file. The last 3 letters of a movie are MOV. So in that case, you need to delete everything on the end of the V and leave it. And
So
then
this will turn into a movie, and then any pictures I want, I can drag into iPhoto.
Absolutely, right.
Okay.
And I'm sure that there is an easier way for us to go about adding JPEG to all these, but my brain is kind of spent tonight, so I'm gonna call it a night here. We're gonna shut it down.
No, this will take me all. Do you know what the last 3 are? This crap at the bottom here.
Those are meaningless. Those are not things that the Mac's going to be able to read, I don't think. JPEG.
I didn't know what any of these were. At least now I can see what the darn things are, too.
Yeah, something on Windows had renamed it 251351, 251352, and it added that file, and it messed it up. And the Mac was like, I don't know what this is.
Right.
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
One quick question.
Yes, take it, Joanne.
iOS update 6.1.
Mm-hmm.
If someone is operating on Lion 10.7.5, she cannot get the iOS update 6.1. Is that correct?
I have not looked into that, but I don't think that's true at all. No.
She could get it?
Yeah, because see, iOS 6.1 has really no bearing on what operating system you're using on your computer. You could be using OS 9 and still update your phone, because the phone now doesn't need to be plugged in anymore to update. So all she really needs to do is go into her phone, and here's my phone. Oh, let me jump back over. Jump my screen back over and we'll get off of this.
She's using an iPad. She's a pilot, and she's using an iPad for navigational apps.
That's awesome. She doesn't need a computer to do that.
Can update that.
Yeah, she doesn't need a computer to do it. She just needs to go into her system or her settings that is on the phone, and then under General, there's going to be a software update. You see software update, select that, and then it's going to say there's an update available. All right? And then you would select update, and it would run and do its thing.
Regardless of what system she's operating on.
On the computer, yeah. The computer doesn't matter. She could be using Windows XP, but the phone doesn't have anything to do with the computer's operating system. Currently, those are 2 different things. The operating system of a computer, the operating system of an iPhone or an iOS device. Slowly, and we've talked about this before, slowly we think that Apple's probably headed toward the same merging territory where we just have one operating system, but not yet.
And
all right?
does the same apply to the iPad? She would do the same thing to update the iPad?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Scotty, thanks for staying.
All right. Thanks for the patience.
Scotty. Hope you feel better.
I'm good right now. Hopefully stay for the next few weeks. All right. We'll see you guys. Thank you. Bye.
Thanks.
Good night, Daryl.
The organizer has ended the session, and this call